Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Justin of Process of Fusion, and I'm here with Dylan.
Hello.
And I'm here with special guest Kenny today.
Hey.
And this is the Band vs. Artist podcast, the place where my band interviews other bands and artists and just people who like to create and make awesome things. And this podcast is powered by and brought to you by the Kings of A&R website, which you can just check out kingsofanr.com or head to the Facebook to learn some real cool things about music and how to make it in the music industry. And special shout out to our sponsor, Computer Sam, which I'm sure you'll hear his commercial later. But today's a special episode because our friend Kenny is returning from the dead. And I say the dead because he was actually our first episode of the podcast, and that episode died. For whatever reason, during editing, it disappeared, and it wasn't there. So now we actually have him here live with us. Right, Kenny?
Yeah, it's great to be back alive because, in the afterlife.
So what is it like being dead?
Well, in the afterlife, I didn't end up where I thought I was going to be. And
This might be.
you know what? Let's not talk about
I was gonna
that.
say this could be for another podcast.
This is about to become a religious experience.
I'm also back.
Oh, yeah, Dylan missed the last episode. We didn't give an explanation why.
Well, he died
I
too, but we ended up in different places. That's why I didn't see him.
Right. Exactly.
Actually, the audio for his entire portion of the intro, just his.
I was there, but
just
just
his
my,
was
my
going.
my mic was muted the whole time.
Yeah, it happens. So our friend Kenny, we've known Kenny, since we've started as a band?
Yeah,
right,
probably
Kenny?
like
What is it,
2008/9.
I was going to say 9, but
Yeah.
wow.
Probably 9 would be a safer bet, but
Yeah, and Kenny and I are pretty old. We're almost 30,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Dylan's got some time.
sometime.
But Kenny is in a punk band called Radioactive Material, and Kenny is the embodiment of punk rock.
Oh, thank you.
I agree.
And he's also an actor, and hopefully we're going to talk about both things simultaneously.
Fun fact: he also plays a mean harmonica, but we won't talk about that.
No, let's not talk about that. Yeah.
Do you really play harmonica?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, Kenny, tell us a little bit about yourself other than the extraordinary introduction that I just gave you.
A lot of what I've gotten into, music-wise, is thanks to Beavis and Butthead. Believe it or not. when I was little, I would watch the cartoon, and I was just interested, in the episodes and all the stupid things they do. But I don't know if for those of you who remember, every now and then they'd put a little intermission on where they'd be watching some music videos. And as time went by, I actually got into what they were watching, and that's how I got into music. The first few bands I started listening to were old heavy metal bands like Black Sabbath, Ozzy, and Metallica, and all them. And that's how I got into rock music. That was my first introduction to music.
It's actually a pretty amazing story.
Kenny might be the only child at the time in America that ever learned anything positive from.
I mean, it could have went the negative route, but he took it, made it positive.
It's like parents are like, no, they can't watch. You can't watch this show. This show's bad. And meanwhile, everyone's like, no, Kenny's taking a lot away from this. I mean, he's getting very creative, and things are going very well. So, Kenny, tell us a little bit about your band. What do you guys do? What's your style? Give us a general overview.
Well, we're a 3-piece, and all three of us sing. Like, yeah, I may sing most of the songs, but that's only because when we started the band, I just started to sing most of the songs. But we're working on that right now, and we're trying to incorporate everyone's vocals a little bit more equally, because I want people to look at us and say, wait, which one is the lead singer? Which one's that? And yeah, it's really cool. We all have different influences, but the one thing in common we share is punk rock. A really good style of the old school early 90s stuff. Like think very early Green Day and Screeching Weasel. And we kind of just try to bring those similar influences together. And, any one of us will write a song or a beat or a rhythm, and the other one might write lyrics. Personally, when I write lyrics, I don't like to write the whole thing out. If anything, I like to get it started, and I like to really try and push the other two to, finish it. Here's the subject matter, here's the melody, and let's do this. Or, and then we'll work the song out, and the one will be like, let's add this in there. Or I'll be like that. It's like, can we do this? And it'll be a song that they wrote or whatever. And it's really a shared opportunity between us, and we really just bring all we can to the table, and that's how our songs come out. Like we pretty much all agree on everything we all come up with. It's easy.
That's pretty cool. And I imagine it probably helps having 3 of you guys as opposed to maybe 5 or 6 members. It'd be very hard to balance.
I was gonna say that's only happened to us one time, where it was like, here's a song. All right, you guys, I won't be here, so just finish it up. And ironically, it's our punkier type song. So maybe punk rock just brings community and family together to work for the common good.
Well, one of the things I wanted to add though too is that like I feel like there are a lot of bands, at least locally, that will put in their bio whatever, like, oh, we're punk rock or whatever. But I don't think they understand that like punk rock doesn't mean what they think punk rock is, you know what I mean? Like when I think of it, I think of, like you said, early 90s, that kind of late 80s vibe of just, if anyone listening has heard your band, they would know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to go into any more detail. And I think that's why I enjoy you guys, because when I think of punk rock, that's what I think of. Not, I don't know what any band would call punk rock nowadays, or I guess.
Well, a lot of it, I guess, would fall more so into pop punk probably, or a lot of people I feel like generalize emo type music, and they're like, yeah, that's punk rock. Like Taking Back Sundays, their old stuff they're a punk band, and I'm like, I don't really think that would be punk rock. But Kenny, I feel like you would know better than both of us, like what of the punk spectrum of what things are.
Personally, I'm not one of those guys who's too particular or wastes too much time on thinking what is and what isn't. I mean, you might think I am just by looking at me if you don't know me very well, right?
We'll put a picture.
He's going to say, you might say, oh yeah, he definitely doesn't think this pop punk band is punk at all. And personally, I'm like, you know what? What's definitely not punk to me is being able to say what is and what isn't. Now, sure, there are bands that I know of that say, oh yeah, we're punk, we're this, we're that, and I'm like, not my cup of tea. Right. But I'm not going to argue with you and say, no, you're not punk or whatever. I mean, At the end of the day, as long as you're doing what you love and what you want, hey, there's the punk attitude, and maybe your music doesn't sound like it, but I'm not going to go, knocking on someone because of that. And there's a lot of other people who might look at bands I listen to and say, wait a minute, I thought you were a punk. Why are you listening to this? And the thing is, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I love punk music. It's my favorite, but it's not all I listen to. I mean, I really do listen to everything. I try to keep an open mind about music. I love old school rap. I love doo-wop. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But, like they'll say to me, like, why do you listen to this band? I thought you were punk. And I'm like, well, you know what? No matter what this band truly is or isn't, it's led me into bigger bands. It's led me into more underground, raw bands that I know you like and I know you think is punk. And pretty much, if I hadn't started listening to all those other bands, it wouldn't have led me into that. It's like what I think it was Just Insane from Anti-Flag, who a long time ago said, don't worry too much about those people who listen to pop punk bands like Good Charlotte or whatever, because that might lead them further into real punk bands and underground stuff. And you know what? At the end of the day, no matter what I listen to, I'm just going by what my ears tell me. Hey, this sounds good. Listen to it.
It's actually a pretty cool way of looking at it.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be a punk band. Like
Yeah.
I said, it'd be old school rap or doo-wop.
Right. No, because I feel like some people, I mean, just depending on the genre, myself included, will kind of stop at a certain band and be like, I don't know if I want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but if I probably look a little bit harder, then I'll be like, oh, wow, okay, this would bring me to this and that. That's actually pretty cool. I feel like maybe more people should
More people
adopt that way.
should be like Kenny and be big fans of EDM, trap rap, and country music.
All in one.
all in one.
Reach the stars and make a wish. Fall asleep and dream a dream. Never stop, just go for it. And what you see just might be. Even when I close my eyes, I can see and still be free. So just believe in you and I, 'cause it's what is meant to be. Sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. Make the best with what you got. Love and faith is all you need. Life is short, don't let it ride. If we get hurt, all we do is bleed. It doesn't matter what they say. I can do anything.
So again, this is the Band vs. Artist podcast, and we are here with Kenny of Radioactive Material. And now he's going to tell us about some of the interesting moves he's making as an actor, appearing on some of lots of you guys' favorite show. So, Kenny, let's do this. Tell me something.
I've appeared on Gotham, Elementary, Limitless. That was a really good one. Shades of Blue. I also did Blacklist, but I didn't end up getting seen in the shot. That'll happen sometimes.
It's the
when you
thought
work
that
background.
counts.
No, it's the fact that they called me into work and I got paid that counts.
That's true.
Even if I don't end up being seen.
That's true. And Blacklist is pretty big too, right? That's
Oh, yeah.
Like just, I think that's just still cool to be
it's
affiliated with it.
Unfortunately, I don't watch the show myself because I watch too much TV already, and I don't have time to watch TV because I'm too busy trying to be on TV.
Are you, when you do watch TV, are you like kind of scouting out the shows like, I want to be on that one. I gotta try to get on that one.
I want to be on any show I can that's willing to give me a job, but it's affected me in the sense that I do watch TV a little differently now, and it makes me wonder about production and behind the scenes more than it ever did.
I bet,
a
yeah.
year ago. I watch pretty much everything with a different perspective now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new season of Gilmore Girls coming to Netflix. Maybe you can hop on that. I mean, you have some fun.
I think I'll watch Daredevil instead.
Daredevil comes out this Friday, right, Kenny?
Yes, indeed it does, and it was filmed last year, and the last episode was filmed back in December. I'm pretty sure you're gonna ask me how I know that.
How do you know that?
Kenny, how do you know so much about Daredevil?
Because I got to be a background character in the last episode.
What?
Oh, excuse me, it's not Daredevil, it's Ringside. Now I'm really gonna be in trouble.
Is that the
Yeah, that's the
code name?
That's the working title. That was the working
okay.
title for Daredevil. But I'm pretty sure they'll change it for the third season. Well, they have to now.
Yeah, this has actually got a direct feed.
The show comes out at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll put this out at 12:02. You'll be fine.
what's funny?
They can't get so mad about it.
I can't even watch it till Sunday.
Why not? You're just busy.
No, I don't have Netflix myself,
Oh.
and my drummer and I want to binge watch it, and he's not available till Sunday, so I gotta
gosh.
wait.
Oh man, you would think they could
send me
Daredevil would hook you up with the Netflix account.
yeah,
Right?
or send me an advanced copy that I get exclusively because it's on Netflix, so it doesn't come out on DVD or anything.
So of the shows that you've worked on so far, which one is your favorite, or what's the coolest, I guess, thing you've got to experience on set?
I guess my favorite has to be Gotham because they've asked me back plenty of times. I've gotten mostly I go to Steiner Studios, which is located in Brooklyn. Don't go there, please. I don't want to get in trouble.
Check that off my list. Thank you.
And I go there most of the time, but there was one time they needed a character with my look for a different scene for an episode, which actually aired last night. And that was cool. So essentially, it's like the guy I play got to be in two different places on the show. That was cool. So I think it's also my favorite place to be because it was my first thing I've ever really done as a background actor. And it's how I got into acting at all. And I remember the very first day in August of last summer, I went to the studio. It was really cool how they just let me park there for free as long as I was working that day. I figured if they let me park there, I'm like, all right, how much is it going to be? But it was like, no, just show the security guard your ID and he gives you a pass and you're good. And I'm in the studio and then they take us, walk us to the set, and I walk onto the set of the GCPD police station. And I'm like, wow, because I'm already a fan of the show. I already watched the first season. This is the beginning of filming of the second. And I see, so this is where that is. You know what I mean? It's a set. It's at a studio in a warehouse. Like all that light coming in this police station is artificial, but it looks so real and it's amazing. It's a really cool, authentic just place to be. and I always wish I could take people with me, like visitors and stuff, because like you gotta see this. But
It's movie magic.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
gotta be pretty cool to see.
You should find someone to make a documentary about you as you're filming roles. So you'd be like, oh, this is my film crew. As you show up to the film crew and be like, yeah, we're filming a movie about me being in the show.
So give us a pass because we're giving you free promotion right now.
Yeah, because we have so many people on our audience. The Bandverse podcast documentary of Kenny.
Well, if there's anybody listening out there, please reach out to me, and if you want to do a
Gerard.
documentary.
Listen, Gerard. I know you're trying to make some movies. We got a guy right here who you could just show up to. He'll probably learn more just showing up to film you. From that. All right, I'm sorry, Gerard.
We got a guy.
Sorry, Gerard. This isn't about you.
He knows what I do anyway.
Yeah. Shout out to Gerard and Black Sun, the Black Sun franchise, the movie that they are working on. We had them on a couple episodes ago. Actually, they were our first official episode
yes.
after Kenny died. So
Hopefully, I can be in their next project.
yeah, so shout out to them. Hope you guys are doing well. Everyone go check out their movie. So what would be, I think just for knowing you, your biggest role kind of was limitless, right? As far as screen time.
As far as screen time,
Like your actual face on screen, not as part of like a bunch of people.
yes, that's true. As a background actor on a big production, being featured on a main network, which was CBS. Did I say CBS?
I thought you said CBS, but okay.
I think you did.
CBS.
He is
Channel
on the
2.
store channel. He's like the commercial network.
Well, as far as FaceTime goes and being featured, yeah, that was the best one. Up until maybe an argument can be made for last night's episode of Gotham, because I spotted myself four times, even though it was in the same scene.
Yeah.
But I was like, whoa. Because when you're on set and, no matter how close the camera is to you, no matter how much you think you're going to be seen, at the end of the day, they still have to edit. They still have to choose what footage they want. So you might not, that shot of you might not be used as at all, unfortunately. There's been times on projects where I thought, wow, the camera's right there. Definitely going to see me. And then the episode airs, I'm like, hey, where am I?
You got to mean grill Bruce Wayne in in last night's episode.
That was tough for me because
Baby Bruce.
Because well, yeah, it's Baby Bruce, but we all know what he grows up to be. So that was a little tough for me to give him give him a dirty look. But now this is for background acting. I'm talking about in the sense of screen time. I've done a student film which I completed a few weeks ago, and I got to be one of the supporting lead roles in that. And so if we want to talk about screen time at all, as me as an actor, that's going to be the one, because I also get lines. You don't really get lines as a background actor.
Now, do you play something out of your element? Because right now you're kind of being staged, hired as that like punk rock look. I can't speak as for that punk rock look. Now, is this student film that you're doing more so like, are you playing a character? Are you playing yourself? Do you have a specific thing that you're doing?
I am playing myself in the sense of how I look and dress. But as for my character, which, spoiler alert, is not a very good guy, that is out of my element. And the student film is called The Neighborhood. It was written and directed by Remery A. Camacho. He's a student at St. John's University. And yeah, it was his film. And it'll be debuting out in May. It'll be up on YouTube. I'll get my own copy. And I can't wait for everybody to see it.
See, a student film can give you a copy, but Daredevil and Gotham, they can't give you anything.
Because it was only 2 days of filming, but it's a 15-minute short student film. But yeah.
Some background commentary. Dylan's phone is ringing right now.
That's what that noise is.
It's on vibrate, but
his job is actually calling him. So maybe next week he won't have a job.
You should read the number out.
Yeah, Dylan, we should just hook it into the podcast and you could talk to them live.
It's like, hello?
Can you work tomorrow? Oh, I'm podcasting right now, guys. I apologize. Say hi. Oh, hey. So what about I guess what would your main goal and aspiration be as a background actor? Like what would be what you're trying to really accomplish and break through to do?
In background acting or as an actor?
Well, I guess
general?
just as an actor and someone who's starting to get their feet wet with film.
Student films, actually, because I had not only did I have so much fun filming The Neighborhood, but I got real hands-on experience. It put me to the test as an actor because, like I said, I'm one of the supporting lead roles, and I actually had lines to study. And my character does play a big part in the film. And at the end of the day, when that's completed, it's a very good, I guess you would say, beginner's trial for somebody who's just got into acting. Well, yeah, or any actor, really, because at the end of the day, you can get footage of that. It's a lot easier to get that kind of footage and create a reel. And you want a reel to, it's a combination of some footage here and there as an actor, and you can submit that to bigger projects or even agencies. A lot of agencies require an acting reel. It's basically your resume, your film resume. Yeah, exactly. And it's like and you don't get paid for student film, but at the end of the day, you know, it's good to have that footage. That's going to be a lot of credit for you. It's almost like an internship for actors.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere, you know? And
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Everybody, at the end of the day, you know, you start at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, if it's a cool enough project, you won't even worry about, you know, the payment. It's just because if you're having fun doing it. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I did. And we had a lot of good times on that, and if I can just you know, land more student films to add to my reel and have good times like that, I want that for a little while, to be honest, because you know, knock on wood, if I ever were to get famous or anything, you know, yeah, that'd be cool, but I want some time as a newbie and just to enjoy myself before all the, you know, the really big lights in Hollywood come along, yeah.
And the drugs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know,
it's good. It's good. It's good to pace yourself, though.
Yeah.
Do you ever, I guess, kind of plot in your head, what you would do if it came sort of between acting and music, or even finding a way to kind of combine them both to make some sort of, I guess, career or job out of it?
Well, let's say my band were to become famous or just well known, or if I were to become a well known famous actor. Only one of those things is going to help the other. You know what I mean?
Right.
Johnny Depp has a band.
I was just gonna say Johnny Depp's got a band.
I was thinking,
But
Billy
at the
Bob
end,
Thornton.
yeah.
Billy Bob.
he does. No, he does.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
But I think Johnny Depp's band is a little bit more popular.
It's probably better. Too.
Debatable.
At the end of the day, no matter what I do, or if like I have to stop acting, at the end of the day, when I come home, I want to grab my guitar and play. So no matter how busy between the three of us in Radioactive Material get, like if we get so busy that we can only play one show a month, one show every 6 months, one show a year,
Sounds like us.
we still want to do it though, right?
Right.
Like no matter how busy you get, because music is a passion. It's something you just want to do and play, and you know as well as I do, you don't get paid for that.
Yeah.
You don't do it for money,
No.
but you love it so much that you want to get on stage and do your thing. You know what I mean? But acting, I found it as, you know what? I love this just as much. It's my second love. And, like I said, that's why I don't mind doing the student film, because you don't get paid for that. And the fact that I found out I had this talent that I can utilize, and since last year when I started, I'm like, wow, I never thought I'd be doing this. And I really can't say I found something that I don't like about it to stop me. And I would say the hardest thing about being a musician and an actor is finding time for both things and scheduling, because I do mostly background acting, and for those of you who don't know, it's very last minute. Like I don't have anything planned for tomorrow, but I could at the end of the day. I just found out yesterday when I worked on Gotham, I'd be doing that. I just found out last Thursday that I was booked. Yeah, there's been times I've been booked the day before, and that's how it works. That's how it works, actually, unless you're part of something bigger or you're bigger as a performer.
Yeah, and you kind of at least have an idea.
So it'd be like, you know what? I'm really tight on money. I could use the job. Guys, can we reschedule a practice? It's already, even though there's the three of us, between all our work schedules and what everything else we do, it gets a little difficult, even though there's only three of us.
Right, that's the thing about music. It's like, yeah, you can always do it by yourself when you get home, whenever you want. You can work on songs, but if you don't have the other people there to kind of help progress the group aspect of it, then, I can understand why just scheduling it's hard enough just with the band. And then you throw in your,
because like I said, I don't want to just write a song completely by myself. I want their input as I'm writing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I can't do anything. If I don't have at least two members of the band, or, well, if I don't have at least Patrick or Dylan, I really can't do anything musically, because, as probably most of our audience knows, I just do vocals, so I can't really do anything at all by myself musically. It's like, oh, well, you can write a song. Yeah, I could write the song to nothing and then see what happens. It only worked once, but I feel your pain 100%.
Okay, so save it to Microsoft Word. No, gosh darn, my computer won't work.
Well, take it to Computer Sam NYC. This guy can fix anything. He'll fix a broken laptop, a broken computer, a broken cell phone, broken tablet. This guy even fixes beepers. Who knows they make beepers anymore? I didn't. Just listen to all these satisfied customers.
My computer was broken, and all of a sudden, whoa, it's great again.
Mommy said the computer was broken, and then we called, what's his name? Sam, yeah, we called Sam, and now it's great again.
Hi, this is Nicolas Cage. I wanted to tell everybody how great Computer Sam really is. My computer wasn't working, and now it is, so that's great.
So remember, check computersam.nyc for your computer needs. See ya!
All right, Kenny. So how did you get into acting? How did you catch the bug? How did all this start?
Facebook, actually.
All right, thanks. Next question.
About it
Thanks, Mark.
at the end of last March or the beginning of April, or no, it had to be a year ago when I saw this post on Facebook, this advertisement from HBO saying, "Hey, open casting call for 70s people. We need glam rockers, disco lovers, and punk rockers." And it was a new show that's being created by Martin Scorsese and Mick Jagger. And they didn't say what the name was last year, but since it's out already, we can talk about
Vinyl, right?
Yeah, it's called Vinyl. It's up to its 4th episode. It's a really good show. I watch it, but yeah, it was like, here's the date and time, and since it's an open casting call, anyone can attend, no matter what your experience is. So I went to the location in the city, and I took a seat, and there were hundreds of people there, hundreds, and all kinds, and I wasn't the only one there with a leather jacket, mohawk, and studs. There were a few others too. So I sat down, and they were like, "Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. As you know, you saw the ad. This is for this show, but it's also for Blind Spot. It's also for..." They mentioned a couple of other shows, and the last one they mentioned was Gotham. And I said to myself in my head, "Oh yeah, how cool would it be if I got on a show I actually really love and enjoy?" So I filled out the application. They took They took a headshot of me, and I noticed a few of us are getting special stamps on our application, and not everybody's getting those. So I'm guessing that's a good thing. Which
It's like the yellow ticket in American Idol.
Well, I think that was it, because a month later, I got an email saying, "Hey, our director loves your look. Can you come in for a fitting?" And I'm like, "Who's this from?" And it said Gotham Casting. And I look at that and I was like, "All right, let me restart my computer, because there's no way this just happened."
He just picks it up and throws it out the window. No way.
It's like they're playing a trick on me. There's no way this, because I'm like, nothing good ever happened. I never win anything. What is this? So I got onto Gotham, even though I originally put myself out there for Vinyl. But hey, all right, I'll take it. And I wanted to stick with it because, like I said, I just walking onto that set for the first time, I'm like, okay, how do I get more work like this? And I just did my thing from there.
Yeah.
That's I really like that story, actually, because I remember
It is even more enjoyable than the first
I remember
time.
when you told me you were kind of weird about it because you said you had something to tell me, but you couldn't tell me yet. And I'm like, what was the point of telling me that?
we thought he was pregnant.
And then I remember, I think we were at like a party at Keith's or something like that, and you told me about it. I was like, oh, that's amazing. And it wasn't until the drive home where I didn't realize like how big a deal that was. And I was like, wow.
This guy's gonna be on TV, but
Then Dylan restarted his car.
Well, I was like, wait, something's wrong here.
it's like, this guy's gonna be on TV, but I know him.
I was more excited for you that it was Gotham. I mean, not that you weren't. I mean, of course, the TV thing was secondary, but my first thing was like, that's so awesome that it's Gotham and not, and just not Gilmore Girls,
Yeah. and then Dylan asked me, "Can you have a line where you say process of fusion rules?"
Yeah, just add a character.
Shout out.
No, you should wear one of our shirts, and then
You know what?
and then they'll
honestly?
be like, "Oh, you have to wear a band tee today." Oh, yeah, I have this great one.
You know what? Honestly, I'd probably have to get a contract for you guys to sign for that. No joke.
Hey, listen.
Sorry, we have no contracts of our own.
Kenny's Kenny's currently sitting in my office. I'll sign any contract he puts in front of me.
POF is not established at all, so you can might as well get away with it now before anything.
I won't sue you, I swear.
If anything, it's better publicity for us.
Gotham will sue us.
Yeah,
I would have
Gotham.
nothing to do with it. That's production. That's
Yeah.
them. That's their thing.
I would feel cool though if we saw Kenny with the POF shirt and they actually blurred it out. I'd be like, "Whoa!"
You know what?
It's like we're Pepsi or something.
Because they really do try to stay away from any labels. And here's a cute story. When I did Shades
How
of
cute is it?
when I did Shades of Blue, I asked them, "What if it was my own band's T-shirt?"
Yeah.
And they still said no.
Wow.
And I was like, It's my own band. I'm not going to sue you. I'm just going to be happy with the promotion.
You shouldn't have asked. You should have just worn it. Like, what is that? I don't know. I found this in a clearance bin.
No, all the wardrobe is predetermined for you. Especially that show. That show was what I had to wear on that show was just a knockoff of what I do wear, just with no labels. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, this is what I'm wearing? I had these clothes before Sandy hit. Wait, can I keep this? Can I keep this after we're done?
Oh man, I think I got a good segue question into talking about some interesting movie news that's coming up. Your character in Gotham, years later, what do you think they'd be doing in the Batman universe now? Like if you can make up a story arc for this character that you play, because I think I asked you last time, just because you're an extra, do they still give you like a backstory? Do they give you some sort of motivation that even though you're just glaring at somebody, do they at least explain to you why you're feeling this way?
Well,
And
now we know he can be in two places at once.
Right.
Also.
But aside from that question, now, even without that, if you can give your character a story arc, where would you put him?
Well, they don't really elaborate on where your background character is from. But if I could, I don't know. I always make jokes when I'm in the jail cell with the other actors that are playing the cops, and they're like, "You're back in jail." I'm like, and I always make a new joke. I'm like, "I thought she was 18, man," and I'm just like, "Hey, wait a minute. This is Gotham. You're a corrupt cop. You belong in here too. I'm guilty until proven innocent." Or I'll say, I didn't think there were drugs. Say something like that. And, I'm just stupid things. And I'll just yell out, not when filming, but I'll yell out, I'll see my attorney about this as soon as he graduates from law school. And I'm just like, is he here yet?
If you were in Tim Burton's Batman, you probably could have been the Joker or somebody's henchman.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
They all had like some wild looks in those first two movies.
Who would you want your character to side themselves with?
Ooh, Because any one of them would be an honor, really, right? I right away I would want to say the Joker because I would feel safe.
You should also feel like dispensable too if you're with the Joker.
Well, I feel like if I'm with Penguin or Two-Face, they'd be like, you know what, we're a little bit on the mob side. You can't join us because you look like a freak. Go to the guy with green hair and pale skin. He'll take you in a heartbeat. Almost might kill me too, but
I'll have some good times.
So a few laughs, yeah. Like I don't know if I could give my character in Gotham a backstory. Just a troubled kid, just cannot stay out of jail.
Yeah,
it's real life, art imitating life.
Because I still, even with all my wardrobe and stuff, I still look very young, and even though I'm almost 30, but yeah.
All right, well, here's some big news, movie related, superhero related. Thanks to your segue, Dylan.
I tried.
Spider-Man just appeared in the Avengers trailer. Now, Kenny, do you think it's going to be a little cameo and that's really the gist of what we're going to be seeing? Or do you think he's going to have an actual plot point that's more than 10 minutes?
Because I know that Marvel has a few solo movies for this new Spider-Man lined up, I don't mind if it's just a cameo or not, because it's just, it's just whetting our appetites and torturing us like, oh, come on, that was it. You know what I mean? So, it's going to be quite a trip to wait for all the real Prime stuff, but at least it's coming. As for what I actually think is going to happen, I keep up with comic book news all the time, and the creators and the Marvel said it was a plan from day one to have him in Civil War. So I think there is going to be a turning point in there. I think he's going to be just a little bit more than a cameo. I think I might have read that that's what's going to happen. He does play more of a turning point part, a little bit, more closer and faithful to the actual Civil War storyline comic book. I don't know if anyone else or anyone listening is familiar with that, but you know what I'm talking about.
All I know is that isn't he neutral in the
No,
he's not. Oh really?
I won't tell you what.
No, well, not in the event, not in Civil War, like the movie. I mean, like the
Oh, the movie?
no, I mean the comics.
Oh, the comics. I wouldn't say neutral. I would say the first side he picks doesn't turn out to be what he thought it was. And that's just like Peter Parker. You know, we love him to death, but you know, he's still young, makes a lot of mistakes, and there is definitely a part of him that is struggling and wants to stay neutral because it's an interesting conflict. It's not about hate and like, you know, who's right or wrong. It's like this is the whole deal is about there is no right or wrong. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's, you know, choose a side.
Now, speaking of him as a youngster, people were making fun of his voice, saying he sounded like a 12-year-old. What are your thoughts on the Spider-Man voice?
Yeah, I think those same people are the same people who
We're
think...
gonna love it probably later.
No, seriously? They're the same people who think the Joker in Suicide Squad is Jason Todd.
It always comes back to Jason Todd.
Oh, you know what? That joke, trolling that joke is never going to get tired for me. I still to this day, I laugh like it's day one. But anyways.
Well, what did I tell you on Facebook? That Marvel's probably trolling everybody and they're putting Spider-Man in the trailer, and then when you watch the movie, he's not actually even in it.
You know what?
Because they do that sometimes.
It's like the Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, like I said, I don't think that's what's going to happen, but it'd be funny. Wait, what was the question?
I don't know. His
voice.
Oh, yeah. You know what? A lot of people who are fans, and you can't see me right now, I'm making the quote marks with my air quotes. Fans of Spider-Man don't even realize, you know, he's actually not Spider-Man. He's Spider-Boy, because he's so young. He, you know, and I'm a big comic book reader, you know, he got his powers at 15. And even though we've seen other incarnations of, you know, live action movies, you know, he's still in high school, but he's just getting out of high school. He's graduating. But like really the way it went down is he was even younger than that when he was bitten by that radioactive spider. So I don't know why people are complaining that a nerdy loser high school kid sounds like a nerdy loser high school kid. I can't for the life of me understand why. And not to mention, it's not like we didn't know he was going to be that young. When it was announced that Marvel and Sony made a deal to use Spider-Man, Marvel also announced that we will be taking Spider-Man to his very young beginning days as Spider-Man. But, you know, he's really Spider-Boy. So I don't know why that's a surprise.
You know what I think is funny as you're saying that, like his appearance? I'm thinking about the cartoon from the 90s, which is probably, we'd all agree, like the best incarnation of Spider-Man. But if you actually think about Peter Parker in that series, he looks like a college football player. Like he's a pretty big guy, and he looks a lot older than 15, and he looks like a guy that would have no problem getting Mary Jane. So even though it's probably the closest thing to canon, maybe looks wise, he definitely doesn't look
right.
that
Yeah,
nerdy,
I think you said it right. That all the incarnations we've seen, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they just appear older than they're supposed to be. And then even if you're reading the comics, I've always felt like he still looked older than he actually is. So I kind of give him an older voice, but I absolutely do. You know, you're absolutely right. Like where he comes from, it makes sense. And then actually, if there are going to be any solo movies with him in, it gives that character room to then grow and like progress. You know what I mean? If he's already established, then what fun is that to see? I know we're not going to get another origin movie.
Well, it could be fun, but
we've
already
need
explored
another
that.
origin movie.
Yeah, right.
We've already explored.
But he's still young enough where you can still put him through issues that typical Spider-Man stories typically have.
So would you say it's a fair statement to say that this is the Marvel movie that you're most excited about?
Civil War or their solo Spider-Man?
I guess of any of the movies that are coming out, or even if all the big ones kind of came out already, but I feel like this one has the most hype around it.
You know what? I am excited for Civil War, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm gonna have to say I'm more excited for their solo Spider-Man movie, and here's why. Sony needs to give it up. They just,
I knew that was coming.
That's why. And this is also a lesson for Fox. Give up the Fantastic Four and X-Men. You are not doing a good job.
No, well, X-Men has been good.
But
Fantastic Four is
yeah, see?
should be thrown
See?
into the pit of hell.
But the thing is-
but X-Men
Thrown into
I've
Dimension
enjoyed.
X.
Well, no matter how good X-Men is, don't you want to see them part of the rest of the Marvel world?
Oh,
You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, for sure.
Because there's X-Men that do become Avengers.
Right.
And this is my point. I want to see it how I see it in the comic books and how I read it. Like, come on.
Well, they didn't drop the ball with Deadpool,
No, they did not. But we only got
And-
2 X-Men.
but Marvel wouldn't be able to make that sort of Deadpool movie because of Disney and family friendly stuff.
well,
Kind
Well,
of sort of. There's always a gray area.
they do have a hand in Daredevil. That is
do.
the same universe. That is the same universe.
Yeah,
so-
but it's not nearly as, I'd say, and here are my air quotes, risque. and actually Deadpool's more comedic than dark, I would say, while Daredevil's actually just a dark show with I don't know. I guess it does have its moments.
You know what?
Well, Jessica Jones had its moments that definitely weren't family friendly with Luke Cage.
Yep. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Sorry everyone.
Well,
You should have seen it by now.
Yeah, you know, yeah. It doesn't have to all be necessarily connected. Like, for example, Jessica Jones and Daredevil, like, as you have the Avengers and all them fighting these big world threats, there's still bad stuff happening on the streets and a little bit more on a low level. So, but it's still it's taking place in the same world. So it doesn't have to be directly connected. So it's like, even if we have Daredevil, I just want him there. Yeah.
All right, and real quick on changing the comic book script, and I guess we can kind of leave it off over here. What about the new Batman Superman movie coming out? What are your expectations for that?
I've been expecting it ever since I was a kid. And you know what? I'm not worried the least bit. And when it comes to Batman versus Superman and Team Cap, I'm Team Batman and Team Cap. But I could go on all day as to why. But I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for both. I'm really not worried about a thing. I was worried in the beginning with Batman versus Superman only because they're borrowing some elements off of a graphic novel, which is The Dark Knight Returns. And a lot of people are going to say to me, what kind of Batman fan are you? But I'm not too fond of that graphic novel. So that was my only worry. Like, all right, exactly how much are you going to borrow from that? And right now I'm thinking, as I see more footage and all these trailers, I'm like, all right, they're only doing this and that. I can live with that. Let's do this. Team Bat. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think Ben Affleck's going to do a good job. I think because I mean, this is going to be instantly controversial, but Christian Bale as Batman is great. But as Bruce Wayne, he's kind of, he doesn't, I don't think he adds that much to Bruce Wayne that maybe someone like Ben Affleck couldn't. So I think it would rely more on what type of Batman that Ben Affleck is going to play.
Well, Zack Snyder said I read something online, director Zack Snyder, he said, this is a different Batman, obviously, but he's also different in the sense that we're dealing with a broken Batman right here, which I think means, and if you watch the trailers closely, you see an old outfit that obviously belonged to a partner of his who is most likely no longer with him and was killed in action. And I think that's what he's talking about. So we're talking about a more brutal and ruthless, angry Batman who's still upset about the death of a partner. And, which is why, Superman doesn't take a kin to his methods as a vigilante, because he's being too rough on these criminals, and, he's doing this and that. And I think that's the Batman that we haven't seen yet. Like, he already walks a thin line, and he's going to get a little lost there. And, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited because, like, I mean, I know little bits about the stories that they're based off of. But I'm kind of excited because I'm not really going in with too much expectation, except to kind of just see something that I used to also as a kid who'd watch both, shows of these characters and then play it with action figures, of just seeing like, just an all out brawl. Assuming the movie's not as bloated and is not, that's, I know a lot of people have some issues that they're afraid that it might be too bloated with stuff that, the fight's only going to be a little bit, and then you throw in Wonder Woman. I don't know. I'm just interested to see how it all plays out, to be honest. I really, that's kind of.
I wouldn't worry too much. I would just sit down in the movie theater and watch. And don't worry about what you've heard of who's going to appear here, and there's so many people, because I see a lot of people say, why don't they just do what Marvel did? And I'm like, you know what? Even though that worked for Marvel, at the end of the day, if they did that, they'll just be doing what Marvel did. And then you're going to complain about that.
and for the record, George Clooney is the best Batman ever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hands down.
I'm Batman. You sound a lot like George Clooney.
But you know what? Believe it or not, I thought he was better than Val Kilmer.
That's a debate for another day. Okay, so that is it with Kenny. Kenny, thank you for giving us a second chance to be on the illustrious Band vs. Artist podcast.
Please don't die again.
Please don't disappear on us again.
That's it? Aw.
That's it. We're done. Well, you know what? We'll save it open for a part 2, and maybe we'll have your bandmates next time.
Oh my God,
I tried to get Justin, but he's always, he's too popular.
Well, see, like I said, see how hard it is to get us together to practice?
Well, hey, we're missing Patrick. And actually, if Patrick was here, you wouldn't be able to be here because I only have 3 mics.
Oh.
So
you have to cozy up on mics.
So thanks, Patrick. But Kenny, any
Justin just had a stroke.
any final thoughts before you go?
Thank you both for having me so much. Everyone out there listening, thank you so much. Please like my band on Facebook, facebook.com/radioactive material. And if you don't want to like that, please like my acting page, facebook.com/actor Kenny K.
There will be links. There will be links below, and I'm pointing below, so you can't see that, but they will be somewhere in this video. There will be some nice links for you to check out Kenny and his mohawk that keeps getting him jobs.
Well, I'm willing to get rid of it if you want to cast me.
Yeah, if Gilmore Girls is really interested, if Gilmore Girls is interested, Kenny will cut his mohawk. So before we go, Dylan's.
You gotta see this.
I'm sorry.
I wish you could see this.
I'm sorry. I just cracked myself up. All right.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Anyway, so Dylan, give everyone a quick studio update.
Yeah, it's going well. Thanks everybody for we're slowly but surely making progress on the album. There's 4 songs recorded, not completely recorded, but when you look at it on a piece of paper, it's almost a third of the album, and that's for a couple of months. We didn't think we'd be at where we're at, so we're just keep on trucking, and I hope anybody out there that's actually interested is still interested, and I'll have way more to talk about when we have more to talk about.
And last episode, Patrick and I spoke about our first single, To the Wolves. It most likely will be out at the end of the month, so we hope to have that for you soon. But again, everybody, thanks for listening to the Band vs. Artist podcast. Kenny, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Shout out to Kings of A&R for posting our episodes and believing in us to deliver the great stories that everyone wants to hear. Till next time, peace out.